Get ready to take a magical ride through the incredible life of Elizabeth Montgomery, the enchanting actress who lit up our screens as Samantha Stevens in Bewitched. You might remember her for that iconic nose twitch and charming smile, but there's so much more behind the woman who made us all believe in magic. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on her remarkable journey, including rarely seen photos and touching memories you probably haven't heard before. And trust me, you'll want to stick around till the end. We've got some moving final moments and a shocking revelation you won't want to miss. Let's rewind the clock and start with her roots. Elizabeth Montgomery was born on April 15, 1933, right in the heart of Los Angeles. With a famous actor-director father, Robert Montgomery, and a Broadway actress mother, Elizabeth Bryan Allen, you could say showbiz was in her blood. But even with that legacy, Elizabeth didn't have it easy. To land her very first acting job, she had to audition alongside a dozen hopefuls for a part on her father's show, Robert Montgomery Presents. That's right, no shortcuts. Even for a Hollywood heiress, imagine a young Elizabeth, full of nerves but determined, stepping onto a soundstage to prove she belonged. There's a vintage snapshot from that era where she's rocking a classic 50s dress, looking every bit the rising star. It's pretty incredible seeing where it all began. Of course, the role that made her a household name was the lovable witch Samantha in Bewitched, which aired from 1964 to 1972. This wasn't just any sitcom. It became a pop culture landmark. Samantha's struggle to live a normal life with her mortal husband Darren was both hilarious and heartwarming. But here's something you might not know. Elizabeth nearly turned the part down. She was worried it would pigeonhole her into comedic roles forever. Lucky for us, she said yes, and the rest, as they say, is TV history. There's this charming behind-the-scenes image of her sharing a laugh with Dick York. The original Darren, their chemistry was undeniable, but that smile? It held more than you think. And we'll reveal that story in just a bit. Elizabeth's off-screen life was just as layered as her on-screen magic. She walked down the aisle 4 times, and each relationship left its own mark. Her first marriage, to Fred Kamen in 1954, was short-lived, just a year, because while Elizabeth chased fame, Fred hoped for a more traditional home life. Her next marriage to Gig Young was far more turbulent, with whispers of emotional turmoil linked to his personal struggles. Then came William Asher, the man behind the camera on Bewitched. They tied the knot in 1963, had 3 children together, and even collaborated on the show. There's a rare photo of them on set that captures their connection. But here's something to chew on. Was their real-life romance as spellbinding as Samantha and Darren's hang tight? We'll dive into how their relationship took a surprising turn. Outside of Bewitched, Elizabeth was determined to prove she had serious acting chops. She took bold risks in dramatic TV films like A Case of Rape in 1974 and The Legend of Lizzie Borden in 1975, where she portrayed the infamous suspected murderer. And here's a jaw-dropper: she later learned she was actually a distant relative of Lizzie Borden. Wild, right? One particular photo from that role captures her with a haunting, intense gaze that shows just how far she could stretch her talents. These performances earned her several Emmy nominations, though she never snagged the win. It's one of Hollywood's head-scratchers. How did someone with her skill never take home the gold? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't go anywhere. We've got even more in store. Beyond the spotlight, Elizabeth was all heart. She became an outspoken ally for the LGBTQ community and was one of the earliest celebrities to support AIDS awareness in the 80s, long before it was common to do so. She worked with organizations like AIDS Project Los Angeles, proving her compassion was just as strong as her talent. One beautiful photo shows her at a charity event, surrounded by activists, her smile radiating warmth. But here's another layer. Despite being a public figure, Elizabeth fiercely protected her privacy. She found solace in gardening, painting, and simple pleasures away from the Hollywood buzz. And we're about to share a quiet, personal moment that reveals a whole new side of her you may have never seen before. As we move into the final chapter of her story, things take a deeply emotional turn. After nearly 20 years of partnership, Elizabeth married actor Robert Foxworth in 1993. Their bond was rock solid, and we have a lovely photo of them at an event, totally glowing with happiness. But just 2 years later, everything changed. In 1995, Elizabeth was diagnosed with advanced colorectal cancer. She was only 62. True to her private nature, she kept the diagnosis under wraps even from close friends and passed away within weeks. On May 18, 1995, one deeply moving detail. She asked her family to stay in another room so they wouldn't see her in her weakest moments. That speaks volumes about her dignity and grace. There's a photo from her final public appearance where her strength practically leaps off the image. It's unforgettable. And yes, we'll reveal her last wish in just a moment. Elizabeth's influence didn't fade when the camera stopped rolling. After her passing, a tribute was held at the Cannon Theater in Beverly Hills, with music by Herbie Hancock and heartfelt tributes from loved ones, including writer Dominic Dunn. Her ashes were given to her family, but where they were laid to rest remains a mystery to this day. In 2008, she finally received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her children and Robert Foxworth were there, and we've got a powerful photo of her daughter Rebecca and son Billy, eyes filled with emotion. It's proof that her magic is still very much alive. And before we wrap up, we've got one final surprise secret about Bewitched that Elizabeth herself once revealed in a rare, long-lost interview. You won't want to miss this. All right, here it is, the hidden gem. We promised. In that rare interview, Elizabeth hinted at a completely different ending for Bewitched. Her idea: Samantha would fully embrace her magical powers, leaving Darren with a choice: stay in her magical world or return to his own. Can you imagine how bold that would have been? Instead,